Hello everybody and welcome back to another Kimball's Corner, where today we're starting off with one of the most important steps of creating any artwork, and that is choosing the correct coffee mug. I know, it's important. Which one will it be? Will it be that one from Catnip? Or will that one be that one from Cats? Cats it is. Filling up the water. Getting that instant coffee. Delicious. Put a little Splenda sprinkles in there. Get that hot water in, stir it up. It's gonna be delicious. I'm not precious about my coffee. As long as I have something to drink and enjoy while I'm creating, I'm good to go. Give it a quick stir, try and get most of the things, dissolved. They'll be melted by the time I get upstairs. So here I'm measuring out the pages because I have combined a couple of photos of myself and then drew them in Procreate on the iPad. And so when I print them, I just want to make sure they're the right size. Well, here I'm checking the sizes to make sure that it's the correct size so it's not too big or too small for the page. And that's really close. I think it was 8 1/4 for the width, so perfect. Printed it out. That was my little thumbnail of, yes, I'm gonna do Derwent and we're gonna do self-portrait. And then this is my blue carbon paper that I've had for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. So we're gonna take the drawing. I cut it out just to make it a little bit easier to work with. And then I put the carbon paper underneath. Normally I would tape it down, but I'm lazy today. We don't know why. Use a ballpoint pen because it seems to press better and it gets a nice transfer. So we're gonna go and trace the entire thing. I thought it'd be easier on myself and do pages like this so I don't have to sit there and struggle with the drawing. Forgot to draw the cheek. I have colored pencils and the Inktense, and I am not familiar with either of these. I've only played around with them a couple of times, so this is a definite struggle. I do panic a lot, but you don't know that because you weren't there. Just getting a little piece of paper to test some colors. I know I have swatches of these somewhere, but I couldn't find it, and I really wish I would have had it because I was surprised by a lot of the colors that I pulled out. They definitely look a lot different when you add water to them. And I was kind of annoyed that I couldn't find something in my skin tone because I have pretty pale pink skin, and these were either orange or yellow, but we work through it somehow. So yeah, swatching is apparently done. I'm just gonna go for it. I put the pencils on a paper towel just to make it quieter while I'm working because I hate the clink of pencils tapping on the desk. Also, it's gentler on the lead. So basically I'm taking I think it's just a medium tone, and I'm just kind of outlining it because I figured I could wet my brush and then pull the color inward, but I do layer up a few different colors before I start doing that. Because, I don't know what it's gonna look like. I don't want just yellow skin, so I'm adding oranges and reds, and this is just an overall color, just so there's color everywhere. I kind of do it over the whole, I put this down where all the skin is, so there's color everywhere. And then we're just gonna blend it out here in a second. Looks like I have a sunburn on my shoulders. That's fine. It happens. I do spritz it. I start coloring it like this, but then I think maybe I should spritz it with water. So I'm just giving a little spritz to kind of activate the colors, and plus I don't have to bring so much water in with just my brush. Swirling it around, getting that nice sunburnt look. I was so tempted to just change it into a Santa suit and turn it into Santa Claus, but yeah, that wasn't gonna work either. So yes, panic mode is fully set in right now. I have no idea how this is gonna turn out, and Rocky's just watching me like, what the hell are you doing? But, with most of my pieces, we just push through, and yeah. I pulled off a little bit of the color there because I was panicking, and there was a lot of pigment on the page. And I'm also laughing because I didn't do the same colors all over my face as I did the rest of my body, so my face kind of ends up being a different color than my body, but it all comes together in the end, but for a while it's a bit spooky. And also I'm not too concerned about going out of the lines or anything because I know I'm going to be doing like a dark background behind me and the hair is going to be all splotchy, different colors, so not too concerned about that. Give it a quick dry, and then I used those to hold the pages down just in case it starts to warp, which this paper is really thick and it's really nice watercolor paper. It's Arch watercolor paper, and it really doesn't buckle or warp at all, no matter how much water I put on it. But when I use the heat gun, it tends to make it curl up just a little bit, but then it relaxes back down. Anyway, I'm going back in with my second layer of colors, and I'm kind of just focusing on more shadowy areas. Like how I gave myself a chest there, you know? I don't have pecs, but we can dream. So once I get that down, I just go back in with the brush and just plain water, and again, panic is setting in because it's so yellow. And I just don't have a golden skin tone, but that's fine, we're gonna work with it. I'm reminding myself that the Inktense is just the background color. I'm gonna be going over top with colored pencils. So, you know, it's like I'm panicking, but reminding myself that I don't need to panic just yet. Filling in the beard, cause why not? I don't know, I have basically dark brown and gray in my beard, but yellowy tan color looks good too. Also, the sun is shining so brightly right now in my face while I'm recording the voiceover, and it's like hurting my eyes and the screen is disappearing. But we're working with it, we're doing the best we can. Really didn't come up with any lighting sources. I'm not using my photo as a reference for lighting because there really wasn't like that much dramatic lighting on there, so I'm kind of making it up, giving myself a shoulder and like a little bicep with that shadow in there, which, you know, my arm just looks like a plain old cylinder. There is no muscle definition there. And I thought, let's bring in some purple, but I got a little panicky because it looked black, and then I started coloring over it, and I was like, okay, it's very dark purple, and I'm like, what do I do? So I tried to pull it off the nose a little bit because that's where the highlight's supposed to be. And then I just dragged it down and started coloring everything purple, as one does when they're panicking. It's funny because like I put a shadow color right where my highlight is above my lip. We'll work with it later. Again, colored pencils will come into play. Here I decided to take it a little bit slower, and I'm just adding like a little bit of the Inktense down, and then I blend it out, add a little bit of Inktense down, blend it out. And that's how I should have probably been doing it from the beginning, since I'm not familiar with this, like with Inktense. But you know me, I like to just dive right in and then panic and freak out and hope for the best. Eventually, I stopped worrying about trying to make it look like me. I stopped worrying about things looking like how they're gonna look in real life, and I started adding colors, like, you know, my normal artwork. But I like to add the purple around the edges, give a little bit of shadow under the hair. And also the purple is toning down that yellow color, making it more like my skin tone and not so yellowy, because purple and yellow are complements, so they'll counteract each other and kind of dole each other out when they mix. At least that's what I was hoping for, and it seemed to work quite a bit on the body, but now the body ends up being darker than the face, but we don't care, whatever. It's kind of like one of those bodybuilders when they have to put the body oil on, but their face is still pale for when they do their competitions. Yeah, that's how I feel about him right now. Basically just slowly building up some of the shadow and depth, and I realized right here that I'm like, wow, I haven't really worked on that eyeball, so probably need to get some color in there. I kind of just forget whenever I have glasses in a drawing, if I add the glasses first, I kind of forget to color on the inside of the eyes. So here I am just adding texture to the beard. It's pretty easy doing like a little bit of a beardy texture because it's just little lines here and there. But I kind of go overboard and it gets a little lost later on, but then I try to bring it back. You know how it is. You do too much, you got to pull it back, do too much, pull it back. And working in the world of mixed media, there are so many options to like fix problems that arise. Just staring at it, wondering what I'm gonna do next. I'm like, yep, moving on to colored pencils. Oh wait, no, sorry, I was jumping the gun there. I had the colored pencils at the ready, but I had to go back with Inktense, and I'm doing patches of color in the hair because I kind of want to just like multicolored hair, and I'm doing it in sections of 3 for the most part. So I did 3 light blues, and I'm doing 3 dark blues. And then eventually I try to do at least 3, and then eventually it kind of breaks up and I'll do like maybe 4 and 5. Like yellow gets 4. That one got 3. Anyway, just laying down the colors, knowing that I'm going to be blending it all out. Spritz it first, just to give it a little help. And then I'm kind of avoiding, well, I'm intentionally avoiding the yellow right here because I know that if I blend that out first, it's just going to get lost in the colors. So I'm blending the colors around it before I actually wet the yellow. So now that I've done that, I just come back in and I'll get the yellow wet, and it still gets lost a little bit, but it's there more than it would have been if I had started with the yellow. The colors get so vibrant once they're activated with the water. Love it. And also doing all this color around that skin tone also helps tone down like the yellowy that was there in the skin tone. And then I look kind of dark here, but then when I add like an even darker background, it makes me look a little bit lighter. So here I am, I picked a dark color. I think it's a blue or a purple. And just going around the edges. And then we're just gonna add water to it and blend it all out. Being a little bit more precious about not going out of the lines because I guess going into the lines because I don't want to like mess up the drawing. But yeah, just making it quick. And it definitely helps me stand out a little bit more and look a little bit lighter. Give it a quick dry, and now we're moving on to the colored pencils. I believe I picked a dark blue for the glasses. It looks black, and actually I think it's a dark purple. It probably says right there on the pencil and I didn't read it. Doesn't matter. I go over it with a white and then you'll see like it'll highlight it just ever so slightly. It's rare that I use black in my artwork, but it does have a nice impact when I do. And you can see like where inside my glasses, you can see like I didn't really do a lot of coloring in there. There should have been a lot more shading with the Inktense, but I'll fix it with pencil later. Going over with a white because it'll help bring out the color just a little bit. And then I should have tested all these skin tones, but I didn't. But it's okay. We're gonna work with it. So I picked kind of like a shadow color, and then this will be like a mid-tone kind of highlight color, and I just blend them together. I still haven't quite got to where I want to just add all the colors like I normally do, like the purples and pinks and whatnot to the skin, but I'm pretty sure I eventually get there. Just making up the shading as we go. I'm not using a reference or anything. And on this paper, I'm pretty sure it's a cold press paper, and it's really textured with the pencil, which I don't love, but then I kind of start liking it once it's everywhere. But when I see like right there on the forehead and the temple, it's a high amount of texture, so I'm trying to like bring it back, like layering the pencils. But then later on, you kind of have to embrace it, and there's just good texture everywhere. just trying to blend out the shadows into the forehead. This is where I'm like, why am I not using my purples and my pinks like I normally do? I'm just not familiar with these pencils, so I don't really know what colors to just grab. Whereas Prismacolor, I know exactly what I'm gonna get with the pencils. So it was fun. I mean, it was a little scary at times, but I still had a good time just pulling colors. So I started off with the dark line on the darkest part of the lips, and then I'm just building it out with a little bit of red, and then coming back in. I think that's the skin tone I used, and going over that, and I'm pretty sure I'll go over like with the pink later, but I don't know, I can't remember. We'll find out together, it'll be exciting. Oh, and here I'm gonna do highlight above the lip, completely forgetting that I have a mustache. So that should actually all be brown and fuzzy looking, which it makes it a little difficult to do later since the colored pencils, I layer them up quite a bit right there. But I do manage to get some of that hair texture in there. But yeah, not a care in the world, just coloring over everything. On the plus side, these pencils are really nice, and they were a gift from Trisha, so thank you, Trisha. I need to use them more. I really don't use oil-based pencils. The Prismacolor ones I think they're mostly wax-based with oil in them, but I'm not 100%. And then these ones said they were oil-based. Oh, here, I'm trying to find my reference because I lost, like, the lines of my nose, and I forgot where I put it. I literally looked for the paper for, like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and Rocky just kind of laughed, and I had stuck the reference in the back of the book. So I pulled it out, and it's sitting at the top. You can't see it, but it's there, just so I can kind of see the lines that disappeared. And then this is kind of where I really start taking off, just making it my own, doing my smile lines, doing whatever I want, really. I don't know why I restrict myself so much when I have a reference, because I'm not trying to make it look like that. It was just there for a little bit of help in the beginning, and then it gives me the freedom to run wild with it. Yeah, it was a little more difficult adding the hair texture in there, but I just had to press a little bit harder, and it was fine. I made it work. I'm really trying to cover up some of that yellow in the beard because I really don't have yellowy blondish hair, especially in my beard. I really liked this color for skin tone. I definitely should have swatched these out. It was a nicer, I think it's called Sandstone, and it was nice. It worked well with the highlight that I was using. And it was a little bit closer to my skin tone, especially when I use like that pink salmon color. And I'm just kind of adding it everywhere to warm up the skin tone a little bit. And here's where I notice that, like, oh, I haven't been paying any attention to that eyeball, so I go in and give it some shadow and depth. Try to make it look like it's, part of the rest of the face. And then I threw my white pencil, because who doesn't throw their pencil while they're coloring? Eyes are looking a little creepy. I was like, time to color some eyes. So I basically just picked a dark blue, and then I'm gonna grab white, and I go in and I just kind of smear it around. And that creates like the nice light blue, and I still got the dark blue in there. And then need to darken in the whites because my whites are not that bright. And now this is where I have to just start embracing the texture because it's just everywhere. And also the red, I was like, just go with it. Plus, I do go over later, I go over the red a little bit later, a little bit later to calm down the red tones. I just go over it with some of the skin tones. And so it kind of turns like a pinkish skin tone. Here I am just adding purple because, I love a little purple shadow everywhere. And then this is where I go back over with, I think I started with a darker skin tone, and then I'll go over with a little bit of a lighter one. And I'm kind of just like softening the water, or like the Inktense, like watercolor edges. as well as toning down the texture, as well as toning down the like red color. And I'm really embracing the texture of the colored pencil because I have no choice. I grabbed like a dark blue, I believe, and just went in with like the beard area and just created some darker color. I didn't want to use black because black can look a little bit dull, but this, I mean, it basically looks black when I layer it up with these other colors, but I know it's blue. Maybe if the light catches it right, you'll know it's blue too. A little bit of white for the highlight because the beard got really flat. Plus I have some gray hairs in there. So it's either gray hairs or highlights, whatever you want. And then I go along the edge to help separate my face from the hair behind me. Adding a little bit of white highlight here and there, nothing super special. This was like a pale yellow, and I'm just kind of going over all the light areas, trying to tone down the texture a little bit and make the blends look a little bit softer. And then I just grabbed some colors that were similar to the color in the hair to just add a little more vibrancy, a little more, not like to tone down some texture. It kind of looks misty in some spots, it looks textured in others. I really just like the look of like the softness mixed with the texture, and I was really just trying to embrace everything at this point. I really like the yellow, so I kind of added it a little bit everywhere. And this blue color was really pretty. And then I add like just a light color that like, goes over all the colors. I think it was the skin tone I used. Or actually, no, it was like a silver blue. I don't know. It was so long ago. And then when I have like a big clump of hair, like my hair just looks like a big mass, I like to go around the edges with line work like this because it breaks it up, lets you know that it's strands of hair, but also it creates like a little bit of energy for the piece. I mean, it even kind of looks like lightning or like an electric current, especially with that like moody blue background. And then I liked it so much, I was like, let's just do it everywhere. And then also, yeah, I did it around the body to help me just come out from the background a little bit. And then, I mean, it's about time I give myself some eyelashes. Usually eyes are like one of the first things that I do. I'm surprised I waited till the end. A little special treat for me. And I do think this is actually black because I wanted the eyes to be the most dramatic part, so that, because you know, when you look at a painting of a person, you usually look at the eyes first. So, you know, I tried to make them look a little bit darker than the rest. And then I'm pushing the hair back by adding the black so my face will stand out a little bit more, because they're still very similar in tone. And I'll push that even further later on. So yeah, just lightly adding some black, blending it out, just to push the hair behind my face a little bit more. And then I couldn't decide if I wanted my glasses to stand out more, because originally I had the hair covering it and it just kind of looks weird. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I decided to just add the rest of my glasses, because why not? The proportions aren't perfect, but I don't know, it looks better to me with the full glasses showing. And then I think I grabbed like a random green color, and I was like, let's just, you know, put a little bit of pop of color here and there throughout the page. Because, you know, usually I do it with like a neon pink or something, but I didn't have the neon pink in this set, so I went with like a vibrant, I think it was called mallard green, I don't remember. Maybe I'll pick it up on the pencil, maybe not. Uh-oh, white paint pen time, you know, it's almost over. So I have, you know, plastic glasses that are quite shiny, so I always like to add a little shine. Plus it helps like the glasses be more visible and easier to see, easier for your eye to read. Add a nice little sparkly highlight in the eyes. Little highlight on the nose. I mean, you can just, I love adding highlights with the white paint pen. It's one of life's little pleasures, simple pleasures. And then I use it just to help my face stand out a little bit more from the background. Makes it easier on your eyes to see the separation. You don't have to try so hard. Adding some gray hairs or shine. We'll say it's shine, but we all know it's gray hairs. And then I wanted some extra bright white mixed in with like the softer white of the colored pencil. So just adding a little bit extra around the edges. It's so easy to go overboard with a white paint pen, but just adding that little bit helps it stand out. And also it does activate the Inktense behind it, so it doesn't stay bright white everywhere. If it goes over the colored pencil, that will stay bright white because it's over like an oily base, but the Inktense will tone it down and give it like a blue hue. Still just trying to find all the possible places I could add white. It's like, okay, Kimball, calm down, we get it, you like the white paint pen. And I'm also obsessed with like doing these little stars lately. They're just cute little twinkles. But yeah, like they start off bright white, and then as like the moisture activates the Inktense, they turn like a really pale blue, which is nice. And with that, I think we are done with the piece. Well, I mean, make that nipple pop. Okay, maybe now we're done? Nope, still gotta add some... Calm down with the white paint pen, Kimball, jeez. Oh, are we done? Okay, I think we're done. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. The struggle was real. It was very stressful, but it was also fun. And we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe. Bye.